we're going back to the Flying Cloud.
Surprisingly, we haven't seen a single game of broken
Yeah.
walls yet
Kita masuk
today.
guys
So,
di game
well,
pertama
RNG is just like that sometimes.
antara
Though
Yeah.
it's
Argentina
unfortunate because broken walls is
versus
one of the more interesting maps
Ekip
to watch overall
Mesir.
here. Flying clouds once again means that the early laning phase is a little bit more,
Apakah
there's a little
Muhammad
bit more
Salah
leeway
akan
to play
bermain?
around with if you happen to get a losing lane matchup, but it's still not ideal.
I mean, again, the impact is not that big of a deal as long as you be able to actually have the potential of too much of the minion when being pushed by your opponent. Even if you come into the team fight early on with a flying cloud, you won't
Ini
actually
dari
do
mana?
so much of the effect to
Ini kayaknya dari
neutralize
Mesir
the
nih.
situation. So again, it all comes down to the fact that
Nah,
you
ini
have to go in
Argentina
for
nih.
that team fight that is already procuring out the game itself. And we saw it happens on Indonesia team or even on Malaysia team during the Flying Clouds on the first game itself, whereby no matter how much they come back with the Flying Clouds to actually push towards Malaysia team, Team Iran could not neutralize that mini wave because they keep on pushing and pushing and the turret just falls down immediately.
Yeah, you gotta have some way of handling pressure overall
Yep.
nowadays
Kita
because there's just
record-
so many aggressive team compositions that
recordnya
are
malam.
viable. Even the double fighter side lane, which is supposed to be more of a cheese strat, now becoming more of the conventional approach, means that early game is very, very important. And you gotta have a hero pool that's wide enough to be able to
Okay,
handle these sort of
mantap.
situations. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us go ahead and jump into the
Kita
trap.
lihat
Ooh, already seeing some slightly
Lancelot
different
di game
bans here from
Baxia
his team.
Fred
Wow,
Dream.
previously we keep on Jushin as well as you've been taken
Terus
out, but now
siapa
we
namanya?
see
Alice.
Alice, Esmeralda, as well as Kimi
Esmeralda
being taken
Kimi.
out. But the first pick coming out from Team Egypt is going to be
First pick
Kiki
Cici,
as
guys.
well as Lunox pick out for the second hero.
Hero,
But
nih.
on the side of Argentina, we got
bisa.
Lancelot been taken off, Baxia as well as
Argentina
Frederick,
memilih
and Lapu-Lapu
Gatot
as well as
Kaca,
Gata
Lapu-Lapu
will be taken
tuh.
out for the two heroes first.
Interesting.
Ooh.
3 junglers banned out by Team Argentina, including both of the viable
Hero-nya
tank
ini aja
junglers.
sih masih
So
aneh.
they might have done their research and are making sure that Egypt won't have an easy way into the Ube strategy.
Granger.
Lock in the Granger, so it looks like they're sticking with a more default scaling gold lane, but having the CC is a very scary thing for Team Egypt because this is just such a flexible hero. Even after multiple nerfs, it is still one of the best fighter gold lane options.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this is where the fine line we keep on seeing that. I like the fact that Argentina, knowing how Team Egypt loves to play tankiness, sustainability, jungler comes in, so they actually take down just a little bit of the pool. But now coming in
High
for the
loss
second
juga.
phase of Baining, they took out High Loss as well.
Taking out Hylos is interesting. Makes me think that Team Argentina might actually want to pick up the E for themselves because the Hylos is usually used as an answer to the RWM, and so far, Eve has not actually been banned. I'm actually kind of curious why Team Egypt got rid of the Alice and the Esmeralda, because CC and Lunox are both counter picks to those heroes, so getting rid of that means that they're planning something.
Thing. And somehow we are seeing that Team Egypt, who they want to actually shut down, they might actually be able to actually shut down a little bit more of the mid laner because yeah, that still is in the
Iesf,
scene for Team
juga.
Argentina to pick up. So Eve will be the next one to be taken out from the proportion to shutting down even more of the pools. And again, we talked about how when it comes to Miz as the mid laner, she likes Vexana, but we don't know what is the hero pools of Neval because this is the surprise idea
Wah,
that we're
ini
gonna
Messi
actually see.
sama
The
Muhammad
surprise,
Salah nih.
how do I say, item or factor coming off from Team Argentina
Maradona
itself.
main nggak ya?
The mid lane hero pool is already becoming a little bit narrow here. Kimi and Eve already
Udah nggak
taken
ada,
out. Lunox taken away by Egypt as well. Means that Farsa is basically the only remaining meta choice unless you count heroes like the Valentina. And right now there aren't very good ultimates on the side of Team Egypt to steal, so that's not particularly viable. I do like the Yu Zong ban though. The Alice is
Kalau di
usually
bola
what you would use to
Argentina
respond to that
jago-jago,
in
guys.
lane. So
Kita
since
lihat di
they banned
Mobile
that out
Legends.
very early, there is a chance that they're leaning towards that.
Okay. Laning phase. I mean, if you go against again with the mid lane idea, the fact that they want to actually shut down even more of the pool of the heroes, yeah, Farsa can definitely one of the heroes that they can actually just pick out from the equation so that Argentina will have less hero they can figure out. But no,
So
they
you
ended up actually
didn't.
fighting into the assassin side, which is Suyo.
Getting rid of the
Suyo,
Suyo is
Suyo.
interesting. Team Egypt maybe has some information that we do not. Now, I have heard that after the recent adjustments, some places have actually been testing out EXP lane Suyo. And it's apparently not been doing too badly. It would have been nice to actually get to witness that debut on this stage, but whether it's a jungle Suyo or an EXP Suyo, looks like Team Egypt is just deciding to take it out of the pool entirely.
I think because we did see from the previous ISF on 2024, Argentina did actually win against Colombia with Suyo in the lineup of the roster. So there's a
Wah, ini
possibility,
Mobile
like you said,
Legends
they
mendunia,
know,
guys, ya.
they kind of know what Argentina is going to here for the WEC 2025, so that's why they take it out. But
Kagura.
Kagura been picked up by Argentina before the last hero pick.
Okay, that is one of the usual fallbacks when the more popular mid laners have been taken out. Now the Iritel and Grok going to be locked in by the side of Team Egypt. It is a surprise that Grok has made it this far through the draft. And as we already mentioned earlier in the day, Iritel is the classic Granger counter. So Egypt focusing on making sure they have good lane matchups.
I feel like right now, Argentina is kind of surprises off with the Kagura. I know for a fact that Kagura, when it comes to flexibility, it's kind of good with the not flexibility, more like mobility-wise. It kind of being a little bit of annoying if you find a way to actually move around very quickly from one end to another end. That kind of gives a lot of advantage for Team Argentina. But last hero picks is going to be for the side of Argentina is Bardis.
Martis making an appearance here, and this does look to be a typical jungle Martis for the side of Team Argentina. They've got a solid amount of mid-game burst, but in order to get there, it's not going to be an easy journey. And there's a lot of heroes that would be able to handle the burst potential of Kagura and Martis on the side of Team Egypt. Not too sure how well this will work out, but it is interesting to see a squad bringing something new to the table.
Definitely, we are seeing a little bit of, not to say unorthodox, but it is a little bit of different side from the team of Argentina. But we are looking forward to it. Like we talked about how this is their first face-off between each other. They've never seen each other from last year's ISF. So looking forward to see what's going to be like on Argentina. They were denied to go to the playoff because they were just 1 point shorter to go into the playoff because they were at the top 4. Compared to Egypt, they already have their history made last year. They are at the 3rd place. So can they make a difference here for 2025? Give a round of applause, guys, because this is going to be the 3rd and last series for our group stage between Egypt versus the Team Argentina.
All right, let's get things started as we jump into the land of Dawn. Once again, this is going to be Flying Cloud, and we can already see Miz taking a lot of abuse here. Gotta be careful there. Ooh!
Oh, coming off right now, they try to actually execute properly and able to get the first
Itu
kill.
kenapa
Nana
ya bisa
really shut
dibiarin
down
sendirian,
great explosion as
guys.
well as infiltration coming off from the team of Argentina.
Jadinya
That
kenapa
was just a
sebut
bit of a
ya?
mistake coming in there from Team Egypt. Yes, they got good poke in on the Gatot, but they should be well aware that Miz is not going to be at risk of dying at this stage, especially with Revitalize still waiting in the back. Nana put herself way too out of position without access to Quad Shadow.
Now, as we see, that kind of overextension can give a little bit of the advantage for Team Argentina. Even on the start round right here, even though it's not that much, yet they are coming in through for the fight.
Gonna go in for the taunt once again. Pavin in trouble, has the flicker out, just barely escapes on this Grok.
Barely escape with a mighty swing just to pull away to make sure that Team Argentina does not do as much as damage. But again, it is still risky coming off from Team Egypt. Again, the overextension needs to be very careful. But now, moving forward, we do see Velvet all alone, trying to zone out for her own lane right here. And it seems that Miyuki with the turtle will be going out. But we do see right here as team from Egypt try to pull away and zone out team of Argentina.
And they're doing a great job of it so far. This is why Grok is such an impressive roamer nowadays. Those walls cause a lot of trouble. And names actually able to get a 1v1 victory against Riza in the goal lane.
And the fact that right now, seems that Team Egypt is zoning out, Odin Rapin right on the spot to make sure that Team Argentina doesn't push through. The overextension finally looks good, but now they're pushing in. Evolve, try to make sure that Nucci as well. Oh no, takes on the charge.
That's a
Might
good
is big
wall.
and had to pull away, but Quad Shadow comes through. Now Shadow Kill comes in a little bit more, but is it going to be enough for the damage? Go for the Shuriken, but no, one more hit, and Nana unfortunately will be shut down immediately by Miss.
That was beautifully played by Miz, timing the taunt to the end of the OB Shadow Kill. And because Nana was stunned for so long, no longer had access to Quad Shadow to get out from that dive. So punishing the Hayabusa, 2 deaths already.
A bit of the overextension of the diving comes in to a point that it gives so much of the opportunity for Argentina to backfire against Egypt. Now the question is, if Egypt keeps on making mistakes, it actually gives us advantage to Argentina. But here we go, fight here for the mid lane. Urgent Rapid being put out to make sure that they don't give too much damage.
Oh, good disengage right there. Argentina, they've been able to pick off Nana twice, but their farm is still a little bit behind that of Egypt. And in terms of late game scaling, I do still have to prioritize Egypt just a little bit more since they have heroes like CC and Lunox around. Ooh, Miz!
Miz comes in at the... Oh! Takes down Miz immediately by Nucci. But at the same time, right at the bottom right here, Neo is much damage. But Velvet just pulling away with a yo-yo, making sure that Neo does not goes into further line.
Like they somehow managed to pick off Miyuki during that battle as well. So both junglers not necessarily having the best of times. So it ends up being fairly equal in that regard. But it is very important that they are able to start getting some kills in on Nuki and Names right now, because these are going to be the late game powerhouses of Team Egypt.
Kind of a lot of back and forth coming off from both of this team. The discipline, yes, we can see they try to maintain constantly, but at the same time right here, fizzing off the turtle. This is going to be the second turtle, and it seems like they push into Names first of all. Names, too much, too long right here, and he's going to be helped by Nana. Nana pushing for the shadow kill. Is it going to be enough though? But no, pull out with the AOG instead to survive it.
Argentina playing this discipline, playing this slow. They go in once again with the burst.
Going off with the tectonic charge, but at the same time, Velvet surviving it out. But even so, Nuji takes down Miz for the occasion, and Riza takes down Nana for the trace. But Names shuts down Miyuki, and now Riza just a little bit too close with the mighty swing by the Vivian. Takes down another one, 3-1, moving off the Egypt, the high advantage.
Vivian on the grog, getting a massive 4-man tectonic charge in the middle of that fight right there. Set things up for Team Egypt. Even though they had already lost a little bit of ground earlier, Argentina's decision to try and recommit ended up putting them out of position and getting punished for it. Because of that, Egypt should be able to get this turtle quite easily, but Nana really needs to start minding her position a little bit more careful. This Hayabusa has already died 4 times.
I mean, not only that, the fact that keeps on trying to push to make sure they have that much damage is not gonna be easy, especially the fact that with 142 KDA, it gives a lot more damage, or even much more of sustainable or even itemization for the team of Argentina itself. So again, with the second turtle given out to Egypt, yes, they still managed to actually neutralize the situation, and they do have the gap between the non-economy-wise. Argentina can step up, but here on out, Finn spotted out Miss overextension with the taunt, and at this instant with the Tony touch, as well as Rapid trying to push in, but Names will be taken out by Neville, as well as the fact that Neville will be prioritized by Vivian, and now Vivian will be pushed out by Neo. It's not going to do any favor, but Nana on the scene takes down Miyuki for 2-1.
Unfortunately, the Mart is not really quite working out for Team Argentina right now, but gotta give props to Naval, somehow managing to get the pick off onto Names there after the initial taunt setup. Looking at the itemization so far, everything seems to be proceeding as normal. Nothing too out of the ordinary in terms of the item builds. First items being completed on both sides. War Axe build for Miyuki means that she is trying to stay in these fights a little bit longer as this Martis. But this hero is just not what he used to be.
Yeah, and the fact that we are seeing that Irrital having so much of a gap with the Granger, it shows how much that right now the gold lane is getting even more and more stronger by the time being. And Argentina, they need to step it up just a little. And at the same time, not right now, Team Egypt is just invading the space of Team Argentina. Don't realize that in mid, 3 players now. Velvet can Can they actually spot through? It seems that Miz comes in, push it up for the taunt, but at the same time, tectonic charge come through for Miyuki, but it's not gonna be enough though. Ended up AOG pulls through, does catch up one, but at the end, Vivian will be the victim.
And there's the double decimate, looking for one more. Names trying to run away. Miyuki wants to get the setup, but he's not able to do so. Gets pelted down in the end. Neo now chasing Names down. No more cooldowns. Irritel will eventually fall.
3 players against be taken out by Argentina. Such a great neutralization from themselves. Despite it was a little bit slow, but they did manage to pull through. And shout out to Miz to make that initiation. That was what is needed with the AOG. And even despite that, the Tectonia as well as the Earthen Rabbit has already defied it. It ended up in the gains of Team Argentina because Egypt couldn't do anything.
Team Egypt still holding the lead for now, but the goal difference is not that much. Team Argentina's late game scaling is still okay since they have this Granger around, though he is going to need to pull a lot of weight once the time gets to that point.
This is going to be the first Lord in the hands, stepping up for the mid lane. Right in front, it's a Rampage being put out, try to Midas Wing with Breeze up. At the same time, going right into the back lane is going to be Miyuki, but doesn't get anyone, and they ended up discharge each other.
Unfortunately, with a comp like this, Team Argentina is very dependent on actually getting teamfight victories and pickoffs. They're not as good at controlling the map through macro, which Team Egypt can take advantage of. They have very high mobility heroes with some good iframes on heroes like Hayabusa and Lunox as well. It's a lot easier for them to rotate around the map. You can see that is why Team Argentina is having some difficulty finding space.
And the fact that we keep on saying Vivian always open up the map, going in for the tectonic shot, gets 2, but at the same time they pull away. But Miyuki doing his best, trying to actually hold out Names, but unfortunately time goes in for Neo, takes down Vivian. Nucci will be neutralized by Neville, but at the same time right here, it seems that Team Argentina can just go in out for that 2 wins for themselves.
Very good counter-attack there from Team Argentina, and somehow keeping every player alive by rotating them out perfectly. That means that the Lord is not going to be maximized by Team Egypt. They're just going to try and see and get what structures they can. I do think that Neval so far has been the MVP for Team Argentina, being able to find these pickoffs on key targets in the middle of these chaotic skirmishes.
The fact that no matter how much setup that was done by Vivian, still not going to be enough once it was neutralized by Team Argentina. But going off for the invasion or even the conquering twice, domination is already been done by Egypt with 2 of the turrets from the top lane is already been shattered as well as the bottom. Now mid lane is right in the eyes of Team Egypt. Trying to go in, Vivian right in the grass. Can they actually do a surprise attack? It seems like they're just going to be a little bit disciplined, not to overextend or push it too much to the team of Argentina.
Yeah, it's not really an angle they're going to be able to assault from unless they're confident they can take the tower down fast, and that's not really what their team lineup is good at doing. But they can still heavily pressure Team Argentina by just standing in front of them, and this is giving space to Nana to get far back up to make up for the mistakes that were made by this Hayabusa earlier in the game.
Yeah, and the fact that the level or the difference between the kills itself is 9 to 10. Right now, it's a Rampage been put out right behind the turret. They're trying to push in straight with the tectonic charge, but then again, it's just to push away the team of Argentina so that they can get the turret.
Yeah, good positioning right there. We saw Velvet going into the back lane and cutting the fight in half, basically not allowing Argentina to walk up to their tier 2. And creating a free space where Egypt is going to be able to take it down very easily. That means that there's no more external towers on the side of Team Argentina's map. And the next Lord is coming up in 5 seconds. It's going to be very difficult for them to find positioning necessary to even possibly contest.
Even open up the map with their Rapid spotted out Miyuki, trying to zone out to Miz as well as Naval. Right behind is going to be Nucci trying to be taken down by Neo, but at the same time, they're trying to make sure that every positioning will be divided by the team of Egypt. Somehow, Vivian without Red Rampage again, that stone just divides each other. And again, Argentina just pulls away, saying that, nah, we're not going to actually be taken out by Vivian that easily. So this is creating a lot of disciplines measured between 2 of the team. But here on out, Neo test it out. Oh, tectonic charge comes for 2, but they move away. 3 players straight away. Red put out, but Names takes down Neo immediately. And now Miyuki comes off for Names. IOG comes through, but doesn't tag jump anyone. And in the end, Neville will be taken out by Velvet. And moving on right now, Miyuki trying to survive it up by 4 players. Can he survive? He did manage to take down Velvet, but it will be surviving by Nucci instead. And this is going to open the lot in the hands of Team Egypt.
Team Egypt still does kind of come out on top in the end, but but Miyuki was able to get some really cheeky kills with that Decimate there, especially the initial one on names. That Irritel was the first one to go down on Egypt, and that meant that their consistent DPS output was heavily hindered. And that allowed Team Argentina to at least put some foothold in the fight. Unfortunately, with no one left alive, especially the jungler, they just cannot contest the Lord. That means Argentina is going to need to try and preserve the few remaining towers they have left.
And the fact that every time Miss tried to position in that AOG, it didn't catch up to the point that Team Argentina can actually revamp back to the team of Egypt. And this is where the crucial point, can they actually defend up for the second lot that is marching in? This can actually open up the inhibitor turrets. The fact that they already lost the holy defense, this is the question whether or not their base is going to be open for the team of Egypt to just invade.
Pushing up top. Argentina has all of their members standing. They still have all their cooldowns. There's a possibility they can hold this back, but what will it cost?
Yep, turret will be taken out immediately. Law still marching. They can actually take down immediately as well for that Lord itself, so they don't have any problem. But the Rampage been put out. Are they going to push in with the tactical defense? Nope. AOG put out. Doesn't get anyone. Miss. In the midst will be taken out. No, he will able to be survive it out immediately. Take into the fountain to make sure that they will not have any casualties. So far, Team Argentina, great defense coming in from them, but at the same time, Egypt is doing so much damage, they can be able to actually focus more for the mid lane as well.
But they're still playing this very disciplined, very respectful of their opponents. I'm pretty sure they already witnessed what happened earlier when Team Indonesia nearly got reversed on because of a mistake of overcommitting into the base push. They're still gonna try and stick around though. Another tower will fall.
Again, I like the fact how Vivian opens up for the Directory touch! Nuji takes down Riz, a double kill for herself, and at the same time Miyuki finds out Vivian, but at the same time Nana takes out Neo. Now Niz takes out Miyuki, living only Miz all by himself, not able to go away with the AOG Crystal, will be immediately shut down in the hands of Team Egypt!
A beautiful tectonic charge coming in from Vivian on the Grok right there. Honestly, even I saw it when Team Argentina grouped up under the crystal there. I had a feeling that was about to happen, and my feelings were proven correct. A beautiful setup right into the follow-up from the rest of Team Egypt has secured them game number 1.
The fact that I have to point out, every single time Earthen Rampage, that stone was been put out by Vivian to differentiate or even to actually divide every single players of Team Argentina to move away very freely. And this is where the fine line, how Team Egypt was able to tone down